so, Obama did do quite a bit for blacks while he was in office, but he did have to deal with Mitch McConnell and the contention of Congress at the time when he was in there, which was predominantly white. And so we know racism plays a huge part in all the decision making. So I just want to put that out there. I can't go into detail because I would have to remember everything and read everything, and I don't have it up here on my screen. So just look it up. You have Google, you have your phone, just look it up. Myra Selby. It's just good information to know. And this, kind of leads me also to have the conversation with us about how to really step our game up and get involved in politics and to stop kind of being led by lies. So we really have to jump in there and find out all this information, become self learners, right? We have Google and we can search for credible resources and basically learn more about all of this when it comes to politics. Okay. Another good way to learn information is volunteer. Volunteer to help and support, and you'll learn a lot of information. Another way is, let's see, I wrote some little notes here. Yeah. So I think this is a good time for us to benefit from being black. I really do. I think it's a really good time for us. We're learning. We're learning how to educate ourselves. We're learning how to be a part of the process. We're learning all of this. And I think it's super important. And I think it's super cool that we've gotten to this place where we're just not living in America, but we're participating. So speaking of participating, so Myra Selby, we see you, girl. So speaking of participating, they are reporting record numbers of votings. So let's see. I thought I had something up here for that. Okay. So voting is happening in record numbers. Now, I don't know if you follow Roland Martin, but Roland Martin did a drive-by yesterday, and he basically showed us how, what did I just do? Okay. Yeah, he basically showed us, I had a little caption here. He basically showed us how people were voting like out of the wazoo. One county in Texas says, look, Texas County says more than 95% of eligible voters are registered for this election. Over 95%. They are saying that voting is up by 630% this year. That is huge. You're talking about a shift. That is huge. I don't have the video of Roland Martin riding around, but you can go to his page and you can actually see he was driving by locations and people were out voting. This is insane. So remember just a minute ago, I was telling you about volunteering and the benefit of being black at this moment. Well, part of that benefit of being black at this moment is to strategically plan to be effective. Voting is one of those ways. Another way, like I just said, was getting to know the candidates. You have to get to know the candidates. So, in getting to know the candidates, you get to know what they stand for, and you get to know, how that can help you when you're trying to find out what will benefit your community and things like that. So the benefit of being black in this moment is that we're now figuring out we have to be self-learners. And so be strategic, strategically plan to be effective. Don't just vote, get to know the candidate, find out how to bring up your agenda to your police department. They're doing a lot of police reforming right now. That's a lot of talk. So figure out how can I present my agenda to the mayor, to the chief of police? How can I present my agenda to the governor? How can I present my agenda to the Senate, to the state representatives? So that's what we, have to do right now. So one thing I'm doing right now, I'm volunteering virtually. I'm helping with call banks and all of that. So those are just some of the things we could do to help other blacks move forward, even from home. Okay. You can do call banks, you can donate, you can share information like I'm doing right now, go live on Facebook or whatever. So those are just some of the things that we can do. Now, speaking of Amy Barrett, back over here. Did she actually replace the black female judge's seat? I just kind of went over that a little bit. But this is Amy. Show you a little picture of Amy Barrett here. Let me see if I can get it up. Give me just a second. Let me see if I got one. Hopefully it's pretty decent. It's okay. So this is Judge Amy Barrett. And this is Trump's nominee. So this is the lady who right now, this is Trump's nominee. She's being questioned in the Senate. And let me tell you something. They are really coming for her. The Senate, the one lady in the Senate, Feinstein, she really questioned her. The main concern is Roe versus Wade. Is she trying to overturn the decision? Is she for abortion and women not having the right to choose? Because that's major. And so she was questioned very well yesterday. I'm not going to say harshly. She was questioned very well yesterday. And I think they did an excellent job. One of the things that happened was, let's see, one of the things that happened was she was questioned by Kamala Harris. And we all know Kamala Harris. She does not play. So she was questioned by Kamala Harris. Well, Feinstein did a really good job too. She was very direct, but the thing was, she wasn't answering any of the questions. She was like, I'm here, but she wasn't answering any of the questions that they had. She was just, skirting around everything. But I like the way Kamala Harris, when she did her questioning, I like the way she brought everything out. And I like the way she built up to prove that Amy was, Justice Barrett was basically skirting around the questions that she was asking. And so basically, she was trying to make her case that, hey, I'm just going to go by the laws. I'm going to do it the way everybody else has done it. And Kamala Harris was like, well, Justice Ginsburg let us know how she felt about abortion and a women's right to choose. So why can't you let us know that? And again, she just avoided the question. She was like, I'm going to follow the law, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't know a lot about Amy, like I said, Google, find out. But at this point, we basically know, you know, because the Republicans kind of run the House, that they're definitely going to try to get her in. So unless one of them decides, hey, look, I'm not going to vote for her for whatever reason, she's probably going to get in. Now, moving right along. Yeah, I didn't share a whole lot about her there. Well, I kind of did, but anyway. I want to share something about Meg the Stallion. So hold on to your seats. Let me take some of this stuff out and set up, because I want to talk about Meg the Stallion next and what she just did in New York Times. So she did the SNL. But also, she did something for, she wrote an article in, I think she wrote this article in the New York Times. So we're going to talk about that next. All right. Thanks for holding on, guys. So, Meg the Stallion. We all know Meg the Stallion. I'm a savage. Classy, something, whatever she say, child. Ratchet. Something, something, whatever. Meg the Stallion did SNL. Is it, and what the question is it possible that this is a transfer of power? Can she speak for us and twerk? So if you don't know who Meg Thee Stallion is, this is her SNL look. She did a thing at the end where she kind of raised her voice for black women. Like protect black women at all costs, and she basically threw Daniel Cameron under the bus where he really needs to be because he's the one that messed up the Breonna Taylor case. And so Meg Thee Stallion is that performer known for twerking, and they all have naked, so that's what they do. But recently, she wrote an article, or she was featured in the New York Times. And again, sorry, I don't have a better image. And according to this, she wrote an article. It's really talking about how black women are not embraced, this message of racial injustice. And it's, like I said, it's in the New York Times, so you can Google that. Meg the Stallion, why I speak up for black women. I'm not afraid of criticism, and protect black women should not be controversial. And it actually says by Meg the Stallion. Meg the Stallion is an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and uh, entertainer. So it's worth the read. She talks about acts of violence committed against women, against men, and how she's looked at it. Now she looks at it like it's not just relationship based. It's just that women are objectified by men, looked at as objects, and often mistreated. She talks about how her silence was initially because she was in fear of herself and her friends. And even as a victim, she was met with skepticism and judgment. How people publicly questioned her and debated whether she played a role in her own violence. So it's a really good article. Talks about how black women struggle against stereotypes, always seen as angry, and we see that a lot with Senator Kamala Harris. They always call her angry. They made the whole thing about all the faces she was making. Like Trump make a gazillion faces, everybody make faces. But it's always these stereotypes against black women. And so I like how she also went into the maternal mortality rates. So she she kind of did her homework. Now a lot of people kind of talked about how she talked about capitalizing off her sexuality. And so a lot of people had comments about that. And I'll talk a little bit about that too. She also talks about how black women are not basically, excuse me, how black women are not kind of like put on a pedestal as other people are. How we had to wait to learn about the black contribution from black women in the movie Hidden Figures. She talked about how we would like to have known about Marie Van Brittan Brown, who created the first home security system, and how Alice H. Parker got the patent for the first furnace. All types of things in this article. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I would say it's pretty good. What I will say too, though, is that at the end, I don't know why we have this thing where we always like to throw ourselves back into pain and trauma, or I don't know. But at the end of the article, she wrote all of that, and all of it was good. She talked about Shirley Chisholm, Loretta Lynch, Maxine Waters, and even how Kamala Harris is running for office right now. But at the end, she actually put, but that will take time, and black women are not naive. We know that after the last ballot is cast and the vote is tallied, we are likely to go back to fighting for ourselves because, at least for now, that's all we have. And I just don't like the way she ended that. I think we should adopt more of a mantra that fits who we are right now and walk away from the struggle stories, is what I call them. I know we like a good pain point, but I think we need to walk away from the struggle stories, so to speak. So yeah, read it for yourself and tell me what you think about it. I thought it was overall a good article. Don't agree with capitalizing our sexualism. I believe that we should definitely, and a lot of people like to compare that to, well, the rappers do it. Well, they shouldn't do it. Let's start there. Like they shouldn't be capitalizing off of black women and all these negative sexual, overly sexual images of black women. So I'll end this with saying this. This is what I want us to learn from all of this. Like I said, volunteer, do the work, grab my legacy workbook, shift the culture. I always have a problem saying that word. And but I'll end it with this right here. Now everybody knows what Malcolm X said, and everybody knows what Malcolm X meant, and everybody knows it was very, very fitting. But I want to encourage us to say this. Instead of saying what Malcolm X said, which he was right, you see how I blacked that stuff out, right? He was right. It was fitting at the time. But now let's say this. The most respected person in America is the black woman. The most protected person in America is the black woman. And the most elevated person in America is the black woman. I want us to speak it into existence. I want us to change laws. And remember, still justice for Breonna Taylor. Guys, thank you so much. I want you to your conscious coach. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, tag, and like, share with family members and friends. And you guys have an amazing day.